crash, so he should have made it very clear that, or squeezed Jeb right from the beginning.
Obviously he was really angry after the race, but everybody would have been, even I would have been in that position. It's just emotions through the race. He's a passionate, a really aggressive driver, which I respect, but in Monaco, you know, it's impossible to overtake. You just have to wait for the pit stops.
I will never change this way, never in life.
Through the race, he's a passionate, a really aggressive driver, which I respect, but in Monaco, you know, it's impossible to overtake. You just have to wait for the pit stops.
I will never change this way, never in life. I don't regret it at all. I don't think it was my fault, but you know, there is no point anymore in putting the blame on whoever it's behind. We cannot do anything about it, so you know, it's like this.
Despite that crash, Jean-Eric Vergne has managed to enjoy some podium finishes this season, although a win still eludes him. Let's remind ourselves of how the first 5 rounds have played out.
Consistency is key in any championship race, so let's have a look back at how the top 5 in the standings have done this season. First up in Hong Kong, Lucas de Grassi started off with a nightmare, breaking his front wing, but he managed to come back through the order. Nelson Piquet was out of the race, and Sam Bird had a problem in the pit stops, so it was a victory for Sébastien Buemi. Next up was Marrakesh, a commanding performance from Sébastien Buemi, overtaking Felix Rosenqvist to win the race. Sam Bird did well and finished in second. It was another strong performance for Lucas de Grassi, but it was Buemi on the top step once again. Next up, Buenos Aires in Argentina. In the early stages, Jean-Eric Vergne held the lead. Sébastien Buemi got past de Grassi. Nico Prost had a solid run, but it was Sébastien Buemi once more who took the lead away from Vergne and took another victory. Next up, Mexico City, a crazy race which saw Lucas de Grassi lose his rear wing in the early stages, pit, come out behind the safety car and still win the race. Sébastien Buemi sent spinning after a horrible race. Jean-Eric Vergne did well to finish on the podium, and Sam Bird made a beautiful move, but it was victory for de Grassi. And finally, last week was Monaco. Sébastien Buemi led from start to finish. Sam Bird hit the wall, Jean-Eric Vergne hit the wall.
Is Lucas de Grassi. Now, he came second in the race last weekend, but he won here at the Paris E-Prix. So, will we see a home win for the French Renault Edams team, or will Lucas de Grassi prevail?
So, no doubting the top 2. And back in Monaco, they were the special guests of F1's chief exec for...
He won here at the Paris E-Prix. So, will we see a home win for the French Renault Edams team, or will Lucas de Grassi prevail?
So, no doubting the top 2. And back in Monaco, they were the special guests of F1's chief exec for a frank chat about the present and future of the sport.
Same question for both of you. Apart from yourself, who's the best driver in Formula E?
It's a complex question because maybe there is a fast driver, maybe there is a more consistent one. It's difficult for me to choose one. I think what is important to say is that this season you cannot name any of the 20 drivers which hasn't been successful in other series.
And you, Seb, apart from yourself?
It's hard to say. I mean, I've been impressed by Felix Rosenqvist. He was not only quick on the track but also in the simulators. You clearly need to have consistency if you want to gather a lot of points. Question, are we finally going to have a race in Switzerland and in Brazil in the future?
Yes, we are. I don't know exactly when, but I think Brazil, I just got an email from Brazil right now, so looking quite good for season 4.
What changes can we expect for season 4 and 5, or the future of Formula E, to make the weekend with more action, more entertainment, more exciting for the fans and for us?
We are in a key moment. Formula E has had an incredible growth, but now we're 2.5 years in, and we need to keep innovating. Otherwise, people will maybe get bored. Obviously, the big change is coming in season 5 with the new car.
Talking about it, do you like the new design? How it's going to look?
Yeah.
I cannot say much about the new design. Of course, it's going to look incredibly awesome. I think it's not totally decided, but you know, we're kind of heading to the final new design, which is going to be a shock.
And we keep the race format. It's going to change. Pit stop still? No pit stop anymore?
I think that's another of the things we need to really think about. What do we do? Because we need a pit stop to make the thing exciting, but we don't have 2 cars anymore.
Yes.
But now with 1 car, what are we going to do? We do something, and it's something that we need to figure out. I don't know, we're working on different ideas.
So it looks as though there's going to be a big shake-up in season 5. But right now, it's all about round 6 of season 3, and time to inspect the Paris track. In qualifying, there were mixed fortunes for the top two. Lucas de Grassi unable to get the best of his Abschäffler, finishing 13th, while Sebastian Buemi set the fastest lap. The Swiss would repeat that in Super Pole to start at the front of the grid for the second race in a row. He edged out Jean-Eric Vergne, who was second quickest in qualifying and Super Pole, while his Techeetah teammate Esteban Gutierrez enjoyed his strongest qualifying to date, finishing 2 places behind. Confirmation then of the starting places on the grid, with DS Virgin's Jose Maria Lopez and Nick Heidfeld of Mahindra making up the top 5.
So that's the placings for the main event, but before that, the drivers had another big race to contest.
Just outside Paris, Jean-Eric Vergne and Nelson Piquet Jr. have put rivalries aside to invite a few familiar faces to battle it out on Jeb's family-owned go-karting track. The event is to raise money for Billy Monger, a 17-year-old British Formula 4 driver who tragically lost his legs in a racing accident earlier this year.
Tell me a bit about this event and why you decided to put it on.
Well, basically, this can happen to any of us, so we would like to help even more, and it's our turn now to do a big favor all together, and the whole community already managed to help Billy a lot, and funding quite a lot of money.
Obviously, the weather hasn't quite played ball today. How tricky is it going to be out there?
It's going to be really tricky, really fun, but you know, since we're racing for Billy, even if it will be storming, snowing, we will still be racing. And actually, I remember early on the day, you told me you were going to race, to drive with us. So now, you know, all your TV audience is expecting you to drive. So we're going to seal you up with a wet suit. You're not going to get wet.
Okay, guys, I'll do it.
You do it?
I'll do it for Billy.
All right,
yes,
fantastic.
I will do
He's
it.
going to be happy. That's good. So the rules are like the fans are going to qualify for our teams.
Yep.
And then we have an endurance race, not too long, but that we can share the go-kart with the fans and have a nice race.
So I'm not quite sure how I've ended up in this situation. So here I am, geared up, in the rain, racing against professional drivers. What on earth can possibly go wrong?
بأفلامك المفضلة.
Create joy.
BMW تقدم لكم جميع العروض الحصرية الأولى وأجمل وأقوى الأفلام على الإطلاق. BMW مخصصة لمحبي الأكشن وأفلام السوبر هيروز. BMW 3 هي موطن الدراما وتقودك إلى عالم الرومانسية. سوف تستمتعون بأفضل العروض الترفيهية العائلية وأفلام الكرتون على BMW.
We all knew this day was coming.
عروض أولى: أكشن، سوبر هيروز، جريمة، رعب، حرب، مغامرة، دراما، رياضة، رومانسية، كرتون، تاريخ، سير ذاتية، كوميديا، أفلام عائلية والمزيد. ترقبوا المزيد فقط على BMW.
This week's Street Racers is back in the French capital for the Qatar Airways Paris E-Prix. And while we may be in familiar surroundings, the paddocks boast some new faces in the driving seats.
After last year winning the Formula Super 5, I was looking for a new chapter for me, and I was looking to race in a World Championship. Formula E is that, and actually the team contacted me. And I started doing the shakedown in Mexico, and yeah, a few weeks later, here I am doing my first race. First time driving.
car this weekend, so excited. Had no testing or racing this year, so kind of getting thrown in the deep.
It goes. Obviously, I did simulator, so I know what to expect. But yeah, looking forward to it.
These are all quite different because they're street circuits. The cars are quite tricky to drive in terms of the way the systems work, but end of the day, you know, we like driving cars as hard as possible, as they can go, as quick as possible. So, yeah, it's all fun.
Everybody would be happy if I'm in the points. That's my goal, but also to take as much experience as I can, and you know, put a full Formula E weekend under my belt. It's really important.
The aim is to try and be in Formula E for, you know, many seasons ahead. It'd be nice, but yeah, very limited on seats here. So yeah, I just want to do a good job this weekend, and we'll see how it goes.
So while two new faces get familiar with their drives, it seems a timely moment to look again at what makes FE so unique: the battery.
Formula E is built around batteries. They literally make the cars go faster and for longer. So the better the battery, the better the performance of the car that's using it. We're here with the Renault EDAMS team to try and understand a little bit more about how you can improve on an already pretty good thing. So this battery was really pushing the boundaries of the technology when it was designed for Season 1 of Formula E. But for Season 5, we've got something brand new coming, haven't we?
We will double the energy for similar weight and volume. We will have only a single car for the whole races, still around 45 minutes. And as well, we'll increase the power level from 170 kilowatt at race condition to 200 kilowatts. So the car will be much faster with a single battery for the race. So it's a major step.
But better can mean a whole lot of different things. So there's compromises involved and lots of different trade-offs when you're designing one of these things. Theo, tell us about the composition of the cells inside these batteries and why they're so important.
So we're using lithium-ion cells from Exalt. They are called NMC, so nickel, cobalt and manganese.
So all of these elements
to have a reasonable range.
And so what about the wider world? What about outside of Formula E? Where do you think development is going?
Everybody wants more range, more power, and the cell suppliers are working on developing manufacturing technique and new chemistry to improve that. Within the past 10 years we doubled the range of the vehicle, and I think the same is about to come in the next 10-15 years, no doubt.
So it's the crucial chemistry of batteries which is the biggest area of development, and perhaps the single biggest factor helping to drive us forward, both here at Formula E and also out there on the roads.
Well, it's almost crunch time. Let's just hope Jeb's battery is all in order. But before the race starts, time now for a moment of reflection.
I don't think I was inspired by anyone to take up racing. I grew up on a racing track, go-kart track, my parents won. So actually from the day I was born, my baby seat was a karting seat. So I think, you know, my line was already drawn. I always knew that's what I wanted to do. I had a mentor. He was my godfather, and he's called Renaud Derlot. He was an ex-racing driver, and he's got a team in LMP2. And he always told my family, the day Jev comes in single-seater, I will take care of him, and that's what he did. And so the day I arrived in single-seater, which was